Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and well, yeah, I bought the thing. Of course. Again, I talk about how much I don't like the mutants in the film, mainly because of the design. And yeah, I still don't think this design fits the franchise, and still don't want to see this thing in the film particularly. But the design has kind of grown on me, at least as like just a monster design, and I'm starting to really like the Mattel toy, and I eventually picked it up. Still don't want to see this creature in the film. Still think it would have been cool to see other creatures in this, like especially in the role in the film and as the toy. Like it would have been cool to see a Deinonychirus or a Shantungosaurus with this action feature. But for what we got, the action features and design of this toy are actually really nice. So I caved and definitely picked it up. Anyways, you know this guy by heart by now. Everyone loves the big old melon-headed creature. The one and only Rumble and Rampage, Mr. Mutant. Yes, this is Mr. Mutant. I don't know, maybe you just can't read that. Obviously says Mr. Mutant, because they would never name this creature such a stupid name like Distortus Rex or something ridiculous like that. So yeah, they were at least smart enough to name this something, give this thing a proper name. Mr. Mutant is this creature's name, so yeah, that's what this thing is going to be referred to as. Anyways, here's the Jurassic World Rebirth Mr. Mutant figure. Anyways, let's take a look at the packaging, where you can see a render of Mr. Mutant. Yeah, the drawn renders are really ugly, but anyways, we have the Jurassic World Rebirth logo. Roar and Rumble Mr. Mutant. Basically showing off the action feature kind of on the packaging. And then also up here we have the Try Me, which why I do say I would like to try out this action feature in packaging. Which I do want to mention, Mattel did really good in the box to make the action feature actually usable. Also has this twisting one. We'll take a closer look at those later. But anyways, Jurassic World Rebirth logo very tiny, and you can see this thing. Big old melon head. This box is absolutely massive, but on the back, you can see Mr. Mutant, Spinosaurus, and Mosasaurus, so two figures I actually do have. Mr. Mutant screaming. So, yeah. Slash attack, Mr. Mutant at the top, land biome. So, yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Mr. Mutant is actually, I feel like it would have made more sense if they would have given this one different packaging. The black and red markings actually would have made sense, since all the scenes with the mutants are supposed to be like black and red. It would have been cool if they gave it like a dark lab background or something like that, or even just like dark forest with like kind of red glows, just to make this packaging a bit different, and also just to symbolize this freak of nature's existence. So, yeah, at least in universe it's a freak of nature. In reality, we all know this is a poor creature that was kidnapped from the Monsterverse. So, yeah. Anyways, let's get this thing out of the actual packaging, which this thing I already know has a lot of restraints. I'm going to start with the easy ones, or the top ones up here. I'm going to get scissors for this, because I already know there's some more complicated ones. I have to do one of those foot peg things. I understand why they put them on, but they're still annoying to remove for anyone. So, yeah. Anyways, you think you got the figure free, when in reality, it's one of these foot things on the bottom that you have to actually unscrew. Though this one they seem to have made at least slightly easier. Hopefully just like kind of twisting the foot around on Mr. Mutant that gets it out. So, yeah, also this thing's foot articulation is really weird looking. Like it completely dislocates to actually articulate. If I can get it to spin all the way around. Which I think, yeah. Hopefully that's enough. Nope, that was not enough at all to break it free. I know that's been enough on some of the other ones. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to destroy this box. I didn't plan on keeping it anyways. Though, I'll try to save it at least a little bit by doing this. Honestly, I might just cut back after I get this thing out of the packaging, since that would be way smarter than just... Oh, actually, no. Now it wants to release from the restraints, and now it has also one more cutty thing back here for the leg. And yes, Mr. Mutant is free from his packaging. So yeah, let me just get that packaging out of the way. Anyways, now we have the Roar and Rumble Mr. Mutant figure, which also this leg already is kind of wobbly. Thankfully, this creature has... Okay, maybe I just need to have that leg up. Thankfully, this creature has 4 limbs, or at least 3 limbs on the ground, or else this thing would probably be very unstable, unlike some of the other ones. Okay, sorry about that. Anyways, yeah. Here is Mr. Mutant out of the packaging. So, yeah, let's take a closer look at this thing. First thing, start off with a big old bobblehead. Pretty much you can see that it's well sculpted. The head, also, you can bring it down. I know we're going to get to articulation later. But yeah, you can see that it has a lot of wrinkled detail. Also, interlocking teeth. Hey, they actually gave Indominus teeth to a creature that should have Indominus teeth. Unlike Giganotosaurus, which even in the film doesn't have Indominus Rex teeth. So I don't know why Mattel gave it Indominus Rex teeth. But anyways, inside the mouth, looks pretty good. The only thing that bothers me is that this happens on a few of the other figures. The new teeth, again, it's just one solid piece of plastic. I love the sharpness on the outside, but I kind of wish there was a piece of plastic over this because this legitimately looks like calculus bridge inside of this thing's mouth. If you don't know what that is, don't look it up. Trust me, I'm saving you. I'm sparing you the pain and agony of knowing what calculus bridge looks like, and it bothers me that it looks like that. Anyways, the eye, kind of start coloring around it. Kind of just yellow with a brown pupil. Turning the head around. Pretty much the same, this side. Again, this thing kind of literally has like a Leviathan head. So, yeah. Literally just basically T-Rex cosplaying as a Leviathan at the same time. And also ripping off a few other creatures, which also, I kind of had a crazy, well, not even a theory, just kind of comparison with another creature, which we'll get to in a little bit. But, yeah. Anyways, moving down the body, we have these tiny arms, which I also did not expect to be out of rubber, but they are. Tiny little T-Rex arms. Basically, the only thing about this, outside of, like, maybe a little bit of the upper part of the face that resembles T-Rex, outside of, I still don't understand how the heck people are saying that this thing looks like a T-Rex or really a dinosaur at all. Going down, the white paint literally just goes down to the chest. It doesn't go any further than that. Then there's a switch, which is different settings. I believe the middle, like, one of them is, I know, is in-store settings. One of them is, like, is out of, like, the packaging kind of settings. And then one of them is just to turn the sounds off. We'll get to that later. Again, kind of simple detailing down there. The feet are kind of molded in a different plastic, so that's nice that the claws look painted, but hey, I'll take it. Also, here's the scan code for this creature if you want to put it in your Jurassic Facts app. So, yeah. Anyways, on to the arms. There's so much to actually review when it comes to the detailing on this figure. The hands, you can see, like, the fists. Pretty nice. Also, something I realized is that on this hand, even though I realized this first on the Mattel model when I was doing my 3D animation of Mr. Mutant, that the Mattel model actually has 2 fingers on this side, alongside one kind of dew claw, while on the other side, on this hand, it has like fully developed claws, which is really weird. You can see it way more in the like kind of just a plain render of the animal. I mean, plain 3D model of the animal in the Jurassic Facts app, but on the toy you can still kind of see it, and I didn't even realize this until I was kind of working on that video. Anyways, going up, it's kind of wrinkly. Not particularly, like, super scaly. In fact, this thing's super smooth. While they finally make a mutated creature and they don't slap it... This film really has something against osteoderms when the one-time osteoderms would have actually been useful. For example, on a genetic freak, it would make sense to have a bunch of random, out-of-place osteoderms. And also, Titanosaurus. You know, a group of dinosaurs that would have had osteoderms, they just don't put them there. Yeah, Rebirth needs mental help. But anyways, onto the top of the head. Again, more wrinkles. Kind of like pimply on the top of the head, I guess I'd say. Flipping it upside down. Pretty simple. The only part that has scales is like the T-Rex-y kind of face. Outside of that, it's just kind of skin detailing. So, yeah, I think that kind of covers most of the detail. Kind of has more wrinkles and scarring on the tail. Also, the tail kind of has like a swivelly part at the end of the tail, and I don't know why they even bothered putting those on the figures most of the times, let alone this one, since it's literally just like the very tip of it. But, yeah. Anyways, again, articulation, actually, tip of the tail literally wiggles. The tail moves, but that's part of the action feature, so, yeah. The legs move. They can go, actually, I think the legs can articulate backwards. Yeah, that's the action feature. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, the legs can go backwards that far and forwards that far. So this thing cannot really, like, stand up on 2 legs. It can, well, it can. About this much. This is about as far as you can get it to stand up on 2 legs. While we're here, you can move the arms about that far. And forward about here. So, yeah, you kind of have it pushing in that position. But you can have it absolutely towering like this. These arms are just dangly, so they don't really have articulation, but at the same time do. The head can go down alongside the jaw chomping and closing, but those are all tied to the action feature. And alongside the head also being able to go side to side. Like that. Didn't mean to press the button, but I guess it was perfect timing for that. This arm, on the other side, has a really interesting articulation. Pretty much it goes outwards, but that's part of the action feature. This elbow can go inwards and back and forth like this, because that's also part of the action feature. Well, I mean, this is not part of the action feature, I forgot. Also, this can move forward and backwards. That's not part of the action feature, but it can do it. And then also the wrist can articulate, so you can put it downwards and have it like knuckle walk if you really wanted to. But at the same time, if you don't want to and just have it like the hand kind of inwards, you can also do that. So, yeah, this thing has really good arm articulation. Also has torso articulation, which is also part of the action feature as usual. And, I didn't even realize it can go both directions. So, yeah. So, on to the action feature, which you've probably seen on this thing already. Pretty much, there is a button on the tail, which you can see here. And you can press it down, and it shakes around like crazy. It took two action features that I didn't really like from Mattel, and it kind of combines them. Because, again, first there's the chomping one. Again, there's the other, like, the Camp Cretaceous T-Rex that released that kind of has that shaking action feature, which I don't hate it, but it was never really my favorite. And then it also has a turning articulation, which we'll get to that in a second. Both the Dominion Giganotosaurus and that one Velociraptor figure have, like, a turning articulation kind of action feature, and I absolutely hate them on those figures. But they actually made it work on this figure. Pretty much you can turn, the arm moves up, and you can squat down. I think I have this arm, I don't know. Pretty much I think it works a bit better if you move this arm a little bit forward so it's not making contact with the ground. Or if you're just lifting up the figure, kind of. And it can swat things aside. Also, you can do it the other direction, but I think it's better this direction because it's like the arm lifts up. Let me see if I can get this from any good angle, because this is a really big figure and kind of hard to get into frame. You kind of see the arm lifting up, and it can hit things. Which, again, there's also the other settings, which, let me see. If I move it over one to the middle, that's the silent setting. So if you don't want it to do shaking and screaming, you can just kind of turn it to the side and it can just move around and stuff. And then I don't know what this last one over here is. I'm guessing that's the in-store setting and this is the regular act just playing setting. Not 100% sure, but I'm going to just keep it on that one. Anyways, on to size comparisons. We're also going to test the action feature out more on some other things, but we'll get to that in a minute. This figure measures in at about 20 inches long, or about 1 foot and 8 inches long. At the top of the hip, it measures in at about 8 inches tall. At the top of the back hump, it reaches about 9 inches tall. And honestly, I don't even know where the measure is. The top of the neck hump, or this thing barely has a neck, but it's a little bit over 9 inches tall. And the top of the hump of the face on the top of the head. This thing has a lot of lumps. Anyways, this thing, like 7 inches, I'd say. It's a really big figure. So, yeah. Anyways, here's the next to a Mattel human figure, which honestly, I feel like this size is a little bit, like I see in the film, this thing is literally the size of a freaking kaiju or a sauropod, which is ridiculous. I think I could at least, think it would have been at least better if they made it like more this size, where it's a little bit bigger than a T-Rex. Honestly, I would have said it would have worked if it was the same size or smaller than a T-Rex, but this size, I guess, works too. Where, let's see if it can actually bite onto a human. Line it up just right. It can actually bite onto a human. Again, I don't think Mr. Mutant is going to be aggressive, but hey, maybe it will. I highly doubt it. I don't think he would want to attack a human for really any reason, since I don't see any reason for him. I have not seen a single scene of this thing being aggressive. Also, this thing just doesn't really look like an active predator. Maybe like an omnivore at most. Maybe scavenge on a human every once in a while, but not like actively go after them. Honestly, anything that gets close to this thing cannot run. You're either in an enclosed space or you're stupid enough to get close enough to this thing. I'm not believing this thing is aggressive or really capable of being a threat to a person in any way. Anyways, you can hit Owen, and I was actually expecting that to do way more damage, or at least send it way further. Not as far as I expected it, but yeah, it can hit it pretty decently hard, and pretty decently actually attack it. Now, Innostrand which, sorry mate, we're gonna have to sacrifice you for, scientific research. Yeah, definitely, that's what we're doing. Anyways. Okay. It can hit it in the face. Pretty decent. Honestly, I kind of see how much you can really feel it. Yeah, you can kind of feel it, but it doesn't really hurt or anything. Anyways, my crazy theory for Rebirth. Actually, I need to go grab something else for a size comparison to show this theory off. First off, here's it compared to the Lab Lockdown T-Rex for size comparison. It absolutely dwarfs the thing. But, yeah, anyways, Innostrand T-Rex. My theory, Jurassic World Rebirth is just a budget, poorly creature-designed version of Chaos Effect. Think about it. Mutodons are kind of like the Ankylodons and the Velociraptors, but done poorly. Titanosaurus is just a Margaspinosaurus, but done absolutely horribly. Like, Myrignathus has kind of like the exotic colors that a lot of Chaos Effect creatures have. And again, the Rebirth dinosaurs are kind of more exotic, kind of like more exotic pattern and color. Kind of similar to some of the other Jurassic creatures. In fact, like the raptors in Jurassic World Rebirth have like a touches of bright blue and orange on their face. Kind of similar to the Alpha Raptors, though the Alpha Raptors are just like neon blue, green, and yellow. These guys are more like a more realistic version of that. The Rebirth Rex is kind of like has bright yellows and stuff on it. Kind of similar to the Chaos Effect Rex. What if Jurassic World Rebirth is just the Chaos Effect movie, except they change things up? And maybe instead of doing Ultimasaurus, maybe they couldn't get the rights to it or something. Honestly, if they're doing a Chaos Effect movie, it's just a shame they don't have Ultimasaurus. Maybe instead of doing Ultimasaurus, they took one of the other creatures and decided to make it more intimidating. You may be wondering, what creature did they take? Tyrannops, which is a hybrid between Lycanops, which is a Gorgonopsid related to Innostrand, though it's quite a bit smaller, and it's a hybrid between that and Tyrannosaurus. So perhaps, maybe one of the early attempts at making Indominus Rex, they fused a Gorgonopsid and a Tyrannosaurus together, maybe Innostrand specifically, with T-Rex together to make whatever the heck Mr. Mutant is. And that's why it has the long arms, the general posture. Heck, even the shorter tail doesn't really look like a T-Rex tail. It looks way more like the tail of, like, Innostrand. Also, these things are literally the exact same beige color. Like, again, they're not quite mammals, and mammals are usually more like, I don't know, like browns and stuff, and grays. So maybe that's why Mr. Mutant is just gray when the T-Rex is, like, I mean, kind of like a tan color when nothing else in, like, the Jurassic franchise really has, like, just a plain tan color. Yes, this theory is mentally insane, but perhaps Jurassic World Rebirth is just the Chaos Effect movie. But hey, that's just the theory. A Mr. Mutant theory. Okay, now with my crazy theory aside. Anyways, back to the size comparisons. Innostrand compared to the Mr. Mutant. Yeah, this thing gets absolutely dwarfed and gets smacked. Again, I honestly can't figure out. Also, can this thing stand? Yeah, no, it needs its front limbs to support itself. For sure. So yeah, kind of weird that you have to hold figures. You have to actually kind of hold this figure up some for it to actually be able to slap things. So, yeah, anyways, yeah. It can smack the Innostrand. Next, here's a compare to the Jurassic World Rebirth Lab Lockdown T-Rex, which, again, the Lab Lockdown T-Rex is the exact same size head as this thing, but this thing has a way bigger body. So, yeah. In height, definitely a bit shorter. And if you get Mr. Mutant to stand up on its hind limbs as high as you can get it to go, it just towers over it completely. So, yeah. Anyways, let me just get this thing going down a little bit more. Can it slap the T-Rex? I mean, of course it probably can, but let's see. Doesn't send it very far. Honestly, we need some of those old Kenner spring-loaded things, like the Pachycephalosaurus figure that would just send anything flying. Just add that into this, that spring-loaded action feature into this thing, and it would be able to really do some damage. So, yeah. Anyways, some more things we can compare to are some of the other Rebirth figures, like the Edmontonia, the Pterovenistus, and this pterosaur I still refuse to learn the name of. All get absolutely dwarfed by this thing, and all get slapped out of the way. Again, this would be a really cool action feature. I hope we get a Deinonychirus in the future. I know we haven't really gotten any, like, the battle damage variants for this kind of for Rebirth so far. Perhaps we could get a battle, like, I know we don't usually get species not in the films bigger than, like, the, bigger than gigantic thrashers. So maybe we could get, like, Deinonychirus either in Chaos Theory so that it can get, like, a bigger figure, or just in general, like, give it a battle damage figure so that it kind of can be bigger, and just give it, like, this action feature with the turning arm and slashing. That would just be amazing, plus the chomping. This action feature just adapts so well into Deinonychirus. Then another alternative species is Shantungosaurus. just a giant quadrupedal animal. That's bigger than T-Rex. This was basically a perfect opportunity to get a Shantungosaurus figure, though unfortunately, no, we got Mr. Mutant. So yeah. Anyways, here's it compared to the Mosasaurus, which the Mosasaurus actually outsizes this thing by quite a bit. It's longer, though. Also, if you put Mosasaurus at like the max that you can get it, it's about this tall. It's very similar in height to Mr. Mutant, though not identical. I know you can't really see it here, but if I lift it up some, Mr. Mutant is still definitely a bit taller, like an inch or two taller than the Mosasaurus. And if I can put it on top, you can see the Mosasaurus is quite a bit longer, but Mr. Mutant, I say, is still a bit kind of bigger, almost. Yeah, Mr. Mutant is the second biggest Rebirth figure outside of Disgusting Freak, which, if you think just because I changed my mind kind of on Mr. Mutant, I changed my mind on Titanosaurus, you'd be very, 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 very wrong. That disgusting creature does not deserve, well, doesn't deserve really anything. Mr. Mutant, at the very least, he did his best as a monster. Titanosaurus did its best at literally nothing. So yeah, anything. And well, meant to say anyways, here's a few more comparisons. Here's it with the Habitat Defender Triceratops. I don't think I've seen anyone compare it to this. And yeah, it outsizes the Triceratops by quite a bit. Next, here's it next to the Aerial Ambush Quetzalcoatlus, which also is actually, the Aerial Ambush Quetzalcoatlus is slightly taller. So yeah. Also, let me see if I see with its wingspan. The wingspan of this figure is longer. So the Aerial Ambush Quetzalcoatlus is taller and, well, if you're counting wingspan, longer than Mr. Mutant. So, yes, this is the ultimate big figure for the Jurassic World Rebirth. You should fear Quetzalcoatlus. Oh, wait, never mind, it's in a cave. It can't do anything. Anyways, next. Here's it next to the Rebirth Spinosaurus. I know there's a lot of theories of Spinosaurus beating Mr. Mutant in the film, or like being the one thing, like basically all three, or I guess now four Spinosauruses teaming up on Mr. Mutant, and maybe with the help of the Mosasaurus just taking it down. Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. Spinosaurus literally everywhere is labeled as Hero Dinosaur, and it's in a set with one of the micro sets with Mr. Mutant. Yeah, I think the Spinosaurus is going to take the thing out, but also the Spinosaurus figure is taller than Mr. Mutant with its sail, and in length, it's longer as well. Well, you know the real ruler, I know I said it's Quetzalcoatlus, but the real ruler of Rebirth Island is actually the Spinosauruses. So, yeah. Anyways, honestly, maybe I'll do some images of Mr. Mutant versus Spinosaurus. Have it kind of biting onto its face or something like that. I don't know. Have with the arm up. See, look, they're great pals. I don't know what anyone's talking about. They would never get into a fight. These guys are chill, probably the chillest two creatures to ever exist. Here's with the Indominus Rex figure, which, this is actually not my regular Indominus Rex, this is my backup one, which I'm going to turn into an Ultimasaurus eventually. But, yeah. We'll get the job done. The Indominus Rex is bigger. It's longer, and it's just generally taller than Mr. Mutant. Yeah, especially in a good posture. Mine's in bad posture, but it's in good posture, it's bigger than Mr. Mutant. So, well, kind of. Mr. Mutant's kind of bigger, but at the same time, Indominus Rex is bigger. I don't know. Maybe it kind of gets cheated. Maybe Indominus Rex is cheating because it's on two legs. I don't know. Anyways, Indoraptor gets dwarfed by this thing. Rebirth concept, but done properly and actually as a dinosaur, gets dwarfed by this thing. Like, seriously, Scorpius Rex is literally just what the mutants are. Failed attempts to make Indominus Rex that are extremely ugly, not put in the park because they're extremely dangerous and, again, ugly. Just, again, Scorpius Rex is just the mutants, but done better in literally every way. Fight me on that as much as you want. I don't care. Scorpius Rex, I stand by that. Scorpius Rex is just the mutants from Rebirth, but done better and done properly. And as an actual dinosaur. So, yeah, they both of them have the short face. I think it was cool actually kind of doing, like, again, like the camouflage in Carnotauruses. They could tie that in. Bring Scorpius Rex back in the Rebirth. That would have been cooler. I would have preferred to see Scorpius Rex on the big screen. Maybe even have, like, test, like, experimental ones with, like, camouflaging. Maybe could they use camouflage and Carnotaurus DNA kind of get the Indominus Rex thing down. Yeah, it would have been cool to see Scorpius Rex. Also, I apologize, this video has just become a rambly mess, but that's what every review I do kind of devolves into. Here's one with a vehicle, so you can see Mr. Mutant kind of if he were to be attacking or chasing a vehicle in Jurassic World Rebirth, it completely towers over it. You can also shoot Mr. Mutant. So, yeah. Anyways, a few more size comparisons. Here's it with a bunch of the Hammond Collection figures, because again, I'm not getting all these guys off the shelf. Here's it kind of with the Hammond Collection Giganotosaurus. Very similar in size, though the Giganotosaurus is definitely longer. I don't even have to take it off the shelf to know that. But I think the Giganotosaurus might also be taller than it. And it's similar in size to the Hammond Collection T-Rex. So, yeah. Here's next to the Beast of the Mesozoic Torosaurus. So, yeah. Here's it next to the Brachiosaurus figure. Very tall. Next to my Monitor Lizard figure. Here's it next to the old Jurassic Mosasaurus and the Dreadnoughtus. Here's it next to Momenchisaurus. But this, I don't even know where the heck I'm going to put this thing. It might go here since I want to put it with my Godzilla X Kong stuff. But this is literally the only thing I have. And I'm going to compare Scar King to it. Because let's be honest, these guys are from the same franchise. Yeah, here's Scar King next to this one. I actually don't have the big Scar King anymore, so I can't compare it to that. But here's the small one. Here's it compared to that. And then here's it compared to a bunch of other random figures on this shelf. And a bunch of other random figures on this shelf. Again, sorry for the terrible lighting. I just kind of brought it here last minute. So yeah, here's the next to like the older Spinosaurus figure, I guess. Because I don't want to bring all these figures off the shelf. It gets tiring doing this every review. Anyways. And now the final and best comparison. Mr. Mutant meets the Polite Gentleman. He is so similar in size, and you may be thinking, oh, he can just slap the Polite Gentleman. Doesn't work. You cannot hit the Polite Gentleman. I'm sorry, Mr. Mutant, but you're an inferior life form to the Polite Gentleman. Hitting him is physically impossible. Though you can borrow his top hat. I will make a top hat for Mr. Mutant eventually. Though I don't know how this is going to work since it's the top of this thing's head right here, and I need to literally cut into the add a magnet so that it would stick. So it's just going to have to go at the top of this thing's hump on its neck. So yeah, I'll probably do like a stop motion with actual Mr. Mutant since I have the actual figure now. Also, I think it can hold the hat, and also, I was really happy to find out, but okay, again, first thing, you can see that it can hold the hat very nicely. I was also very happy to find out that this thing can reach its own mouth, which means I can make it drink tea. Yeah, get ready to see a bunch of Mr. Mutant videos soon. Anyways, for my final thoughts on this figure. As a Jurassic figure, what the heck are we doing? How did we get here? We started off with dinosaurs and now we're here. But as a movie monster, I really like this dude. Mr. Mutant is nice as a movie monster. Still shouldn't be in the Jurassic franchise, but I can kind of tolerate him for one film. Yeah, I think this figure has cool action features, and also, again, the design kind of works. I like the design. Probably the best interpretation of Mr. Mutant is the Mattel figure. So, yeah. Honestly, hope they reuse some of the action features and concepts for this figure to a Shantagosaurus and Deinonychirus figure, but, yeah. Also, what do you think of my crazy Rebirth theories I kind of made up on the spot? Just comment down below if you think I'm just delusional or not. Anyways, what's your opinion on Mr. Mutant and, just the other Rebirth figures? So, yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. And also, I'm contemplating how the Mosasaurus review was literally, like, over 40 minutes long. What was I even talking about? The Mosasaurus, yes, it's interesting, but I don't think there's enough to really spend a whole 40 minutes talking about it. I didn't even get to 30 with Mr. Mutant. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.